My name is Kai Gilb, and I have for the past 30 years been teaching companies, people, and organizations to succeed in product development. What I want to talk about today is just a short little, should you, when you're faced with some legacy product that is very difficult to maintain, expensive to maintain, you get requests for updates from your customers. They want improvements, and you can't really go about improving it because it's so difficult to use on this legacy product. Should you then somehow try to work with what you have, or should you just scratch everything and start a new development of a new product that would then replace the old one? So that's a discussion, and I like just to talk a little bit about that. Now, it's clear why you would want to throw the old one away. You can start with a clean clean slate. Is that what it's called? And you can you can think of any architecture, any technology, and you can dream up how wonderful your new product would be and how easy it would be to adapt changes. Actually, you don't even think that, you probably just build in the changes right away. So, clear benefits seen from those eyes. Yet, I would suggest that rarely is that a good idea. And that if you look at history and the number of people who go that route, they almost always fail. It might not even be technical reasons, right? It takes so long time that by the time they're half done, some management restructuring happens, and somehow that project gets cut. So for whatever reason, they tend to fail. And also know that when people build that original system, that legacy system, they put a lot of time and effort into that. And then there's been years of patching and probably making it worse and worse in many respects, but still creating this product that you're sitting on today. And it's easy to underestimate the work that went into the original one and the work you need to do to create a new version of this. Further, then, what people do when they create new products is typically they start studying the old product and the needs and start listing out all the functions. So then after that, they spend a lot of time just creating the functions. You try to create a product which is the absolute minimum but still has enough functions to do what it needs to do. You call it a minimal viable product. Now, if you just had the old system, you'd already have all that functions, wouldn't you? Right? So, and this whole thing about, actually, we're not going to go there deep now, but this whole idea about a minimal viable product, the way it is practiced is really dumb. Because nobody wants your product, I hold, and nobody wants your functions, I hold. They want improvements to those. So it shouldn't be minimal viable product as in the base set of functions that's needed. That's a loser. Nobody really wants that. It should be minimal viable value improvements, right? There should be what can you do in as little work as possible but still give value to some set of products, values, or stakeholders. That would be the smart, intelligent way of doing minimal viable product. On value improvement, not on functions and features. Okay, so we'll leave that alone. You might agree or not agree, probably because you don't understand exactly what I said there. But going back to, it's a similar track actually. The people who wants to build a new product, they come at it from let's say a very different view than I do, and I think they need to look at a different way of thinking about projects and products. My view is that nobody wants your functions and features, nobody wants your product, nobody wants your code, nobody wants your services. What they want is improvements first they want improvements to their own lives. They want better, faster, quicker. They want to make more money, have more fun, right? That's what people want. and then they want that to sell also. They can sell it and make money. So they want products that are better enhanced. But nobody really wants your product. So this has to be like ingrained in everything you do. You can't, have shippable code. That's a really bad idea because nobody wants your code. That's not like a release. The release should be some improved value. Okay. So this goes back actually. So the people who want to do everything from scratch tend to imagine that people want their product. And I'm saying, what? Go talk to them. Nobody really wants your product, okay? Nobody really wants your code. So with that view, what I highly recommend is you always start with what is there already, however bad it is, right? So because then you have all the functions in place and you have some values, right? You have a set of functions and you have some values. Now some of those values are not good and some of them you can't live with because you need to constantly improve and maybe improve radically. So I'm not saying end up with what you have. I'm saying always start with what you have. Don't start with nothing. Now, because you're vastly undermining what it takes to bring you up to the point where the legacy product already is. So then what you do is you look at how can we improve the values of the product we already have. Now, a lot of times you can't patch that, and you can patch it and get small improvements, but you maybe want some big improvements. So it's not patchable with the platform, the operating system, I don't know, the code, the technology that is there today. You need to radically change it. So what I'm saying is, even when you want radical change, you start with what you have. And even if you're going to end up with a product that has nothing in common with what you start with, right? There's no code left or no whatever technical solutions you have. There's nothing of that left in the new product. The fastest way to get to that new vision is by starting with what you have. Now, what you can do then, and what my clients do, is they look at different way of chopping up this beast of a legacy product and seeing if, okay, are there some core functions? Are there a set of core functions that are different? And like there's a sales part, there's an accounting part, there's some report. Okay, let's take one of those, and then we'll only improve that part first. And sometimes what you have to do is you keep your old system and you make your shiny new system, but only on that little part. And you might have some interfaces between the new system and the old system until everything is improved. And sometimes you need to build some intermediate system. So here you have your old system, your old system, your new system, that's going to be the new shiny product. You might have to invest in an intermediate system that will do some communication, some API communication between these products, so that you can start integrating your new into the old before everything is done. And you might have to throw away this, so this be like a wasted money, but it wasn't wasted because you did manage to get a few things done. You did manage to get real values to your customers early. You did manage to validate that this new thing is actually better than the old, and how much, and that it actually works. And so all these benefits outweigh easily the cost of this intermediate. So then you can keep building on that. Changing out another part and another part. So here's a new component. You put that in and you build another interface maybe, or maybe not, and then you throw away or you sort of turn off. And to finally, you only have the shiny new product. So that's what I highly recommend. Now, I was driving, picking up somebody in a Tesla yesterday at the airport. I was driving to the airport, and I was on autopilot, and I was thinking about this, like how does this work with Tesla? Now, consider two approaches Tesla could have done. They could have said, no, we need to build from scratch, and when we have a fully autonomous car, because that's been their vision all along, right? They want a full autonomous car that drives around on autopilot with no human needed. Now, if that was their approach, and then we ship, when do you think they would ship? Would Tesla even have cars? Would they not go bankrupt before they got there, right? So what did they do is they said, what's a legacy system? You know what the legacy system is? It's you driving around. You're the autopilot. Now, if you have a passenger, you have an autopilot car from the passenger's point of view. They don't have to do anything. They can do email, they can read a book, they can sleep. It's an autopilot for them, right? So that's the legacy system. Now, that has some bad quality attributes, like it's unreliable and, costly if you want a taxi driver or private chauffeur. So what you want is to look at the values. Don't care about autopilot technology as such. What you want to do with autopilot is the values of autopilot, where you reduce the cost, you reduce the burden of driving, right? You improve the safety of driving. So these are like values that you want to improve. So you start with what you have. That's what they did. So because of that, so when I was driving, the state of affairs with autopilot is that they're slowly swapping out little by little. So I can't actually sleep. I can't let go of the steering wheel other than for a short period of time. I have to keep an eye on the road, eye on the traffic, be responsible for the vehicle, and keep an eye on the steering wheel, right? And one close to the brake pedal. So now it actually drives. I just sort of follow along. It actually accelerates, adjusts the speed, brakes, there's all kinds of things. And just if something happens, I'm instantly available, and it instantly will sort of shake the steering wheel and make some sound. And so like on my way, 45 minutes from here to the airport, it was driving fine, right? It did it all by itself, but I had to be there, right? So that's how they're able to ship autopilot in a car way early, right? And then it gets better. So actually, a year ago, it was much worse than it is now. Now it's better. And then it's going to get better and better and better. And eventually, they'll reach their dream of this 100% autonomous driving car. Don't need a person in it. If there's a person, you can sleep, right? So that's where they're going. That's the vision. That's your vision for your new product, replacing the legacy product. But don't try to go directly there. Don't try to ignore what you have and go directly there. That's going to be the loser, right? That's clearly going to be the loser. So that's my advice for, should you scratch and start anew? No. That shows again and again the bad outcome, okay? You're going to end up on the loser project. Highly recommend that you do, like you can observe everywhere in nature, and that you can observe how Tesla did with the autopilot, is you build on whatever is there. And you can build a little bit on improvement, or you can end up with completely fresh, new solution, but you still start with what you have today. Now, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you share it on your social media so your colleagues and professional friends sees it. And if you disagree or agree or have additional thoughts, please leave a comment, get the discussion going. Thank you.